Okay, got head coach Brad Brownell. Please go ahead with questions.
Do you want a statement first, probably?
Oh, yeah. Jump on the gun.
First thing, just I guess the two main things I want to say initially. Number one is a lot of credit to Presbyterian, their coaches and players. I thought they were really ready to compete, and their size and athleticism and pressure initially probably surprised us a little bit. We knew they were going to be good and athletic, but I didn't know that they would probably guard as hard as they did initially, and so we probably weren't quite as ready for it, in the first half. Thought we made some adjustments, and that was really good, and played much better and played a really good second half. Second thing, just want to really thank our students for coming out. I thought their turnout was outstanding. Hope to see them again on Friday and Monday, because their energy level really helped us when we were struggling. And so those were two points that I wanted to make. Happy with the win. Proud of the way we bounced back at halftime. Thought our guys adjusted well. We guarded well. Made it a little bit more difficult for them, and then simplified some things on offense just to deal with their pressure a little bit better, and find a way to play really well and win the second half. Questions?
Brad, what was the adjustment defensively in the second half?
Well, I think first of all, we played some bigger guys. This was a tough game for Nick. Both their guards are 6'3", 6'4". They both post. They actually do that a lot in their offense. They're used to doing it. Some teams try it, but it's not really what they do. And so that's, teams don't really do that as well. But when it's what you do, because that's how they play, I thought we were ready for some of it, not as ready for others. When we matched with some bigger guys, I thought it helped us. And then at one point we backed up our pressure a little bit and just did a better job of containing the ball. And again, I thought defensively, we were decent most of the night, but we were really good in the second half.
Seemed like Alabama was much more aggressive and intensity level.
Yeah, I think we were all just a little caught off guard by how hard they came at us. We knew they were going to come up and pick up a little bit, but they were like full attack mode. And at this time of year, it's hard. Like you just don't, you don't know what you're playing. You don't have film. You're going off last year. Some of it's right, some of it's not. There's new personnel. You're dealing with new personnel. You're trying to figure yourself out. How much do you spend time on your opponent? You don't have the information that you do as you get later into the season. That's going to be a real challenge for us with Wofford. I actually peeked at part of their game at 5 o'clock, and they're not running anything because they're winning by 50 points. So it's hard this time of year for especially for the teams that some of the high majors that are expected to win the games. You can see the pressure on the players. You miss some free throws. The other team's playing loose. It's not as easy as it looks. So I'm really proud of the way we regrouped at halftime and the way we played, to win the game by 19 in the second half. We performed really well.
Kind of going off that, Brad, but I guess what does it say about the team that they were able to make those adjustments and not, get in their heads?
Yeah, just I hope that that's something that we can build on, because I think it's important. There's no question we were a little shell shocked in the timeouts in the first half. We didn't have a great shoot around today. We shoot around in the mornings. We didn't have a great shoot around this morning, and I was a little disappointed and challenged our guys and told them this was a great learning lesson. But it's not easy to show that kind of maturity. It happens in this game, especially because we play so many games. We don't play one game a week. But again, I think more of the credit just goes to Presbyterian. I thought their kids were super excited, super aggressive, and they bothered us with some of the things they did early on.
Seemed like Hunter Tyson kind of kept y'all in the first half. Did some big shots.
I thought he was really poised, and I thought he played exceptionally well. That's a great point. I said that on the radio, the same thing. He ended up being on the bench some in the second half just because we had a group that was playing really well together. It was nothing he did, but we just had a group defensively that was playing at a high level. And so I stayed with them for a while, but he was the guy that, clearly was not nervous and comfortable and making shots in the first half and keeping us in it and trying to encourage guys to hang in there. And I thought he played really well, 7 rebounds to go along with his, or maybe 14 points.
Coach, what would you attribute some of the free throw woes there in the first half?
I'm sure some of it's nerves, and then you miss a couple and it gets into your mind. There's no doubt about it. And I think sometimes it's even harder when you're at home, because now the crowd's like moaning and groaning when you aren't making free throws, and then they clap when you make one, but it's kind of a sarcastic clap, right? And so it's like, I mean, you're feeling it, and you're already struggling to score. So your team is, it's hard when you're playing, and then you run something well, and you drive and get fouled, and then go up and miss 2 free throws, or you get bonus and you miss the first free throw. And it's like, man, we did some good things to get fouled, and then we don't get any points for them. So it's just, it's a combination. We certainly have been working on our free throws. We've shot the ball well in practice. Just today, we didn't do a very good job. And I think, that was part of what put us in the hole in the first half.
PJ only 4 shots tonight. Is that how they were defending?
Yeah, I think it was more them, and PJ's got to do better. Like he didn't play as well tonight. And their defense was a big part of it. It's not all on PJ. Like, our guards got to do a better job of post feeding, but their pressure bothered us at times. PJ, sometimes it's hard with a small, big guy guarding you who's moving around, and you're trying to feel him and find him. And, it's the first game of the year, and you're a little antsy, and, he just didn't have a good rhythm. And I think a lot of it was PC. I thought they did a lot of really good things. Quentin's done a really good job with that group. He's recruited some good players, and, this is his 3rd or 4th year there, and you can see that he's building a nice program.
With the rebounding issues in the first half, was that just more of an effort thing or more of a box?
I think it's a combination. I think sometimes it's a missed box out, and there's bigger athletes going against some of our smaller guys. And then sometimes it's, we're over helping. We're either helping because they're throwing the ball against our small guards, and now we're bringing somebody over to help. Well, now when they shoot, like, that guy's not near his man to box out, so that guy's coming in. And PC, they send 4. I mean, they were top 40 in the country last year in offensive rebounding. So, like, they're going to give up some layups. And in the second half, we scored some layups in transition when we got rebounds, because their defensive transition isn't as good because they're sending so many guys to the boards. And so it's kind of a catch as catch can, if you will. We did a better job in the second half, had bigger bodies out there of, keeping them in front of us, and then better blockouts because we didn't have to rotate.
At times this year, is it going to be hard to just play out and dig in?
Yeah, I think there will be times. Yeah, I don't think it's something you can say, hey, we're going to do that for 35 minutes. Those guys are good players, and, I don't know how much we'll start them. We might start them all the time. But there are going to be some games where it's challenging. And, we managed it last year, and they both played 24, 26 minutes, which is still a good bit. So, again, this was a hard matchup for the 2 little guys because of the way they're, some of their best players are their big guards.
Is that one of the advantages of having David Collins to give you that exercise?
Absolutely. And I thought Chase Hunter played well tonight. He didn't play as much. I probably needed to play him a few more minutes, but he made a couple of really good passes. He fed PJ for a play in the first half. He gave a great skip off a pick and roll, dragged it down and skipped for 3 to Al in the corner. He had a great pull up that just went in and out. He got fouled on a play that we called where he came off a back screen and made a couple free throws. So I thought he did some good things. He's a little bit bigger guy, 6'3", can play the 2 guard or the 1 and help us with size that way too. Anybody else?
Hey, Coach Trevor from CUTigers.com. Collins scored 10 in the second half. I'm sure you'd like to see him make some more free throws, but seems like he's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, he played like an older guy that's been in a lot of games. And that's why we went and got him. We knew we needed it. We're just a younger team, and he has a big physical body, and we knew by losing Clyde that's the kind of guy we got to get. And so his experience, his toughness defensively today, and then just his competitive spirit to go compete, in transition, to draw fouls, to make some plays. Thought he made a lot of winning plays. And that was really important. And I thought Nas helped us defensively a ton in the second half. Bigger body, bigger guy out there blocking guys out, bigger guy to have to shoot over. I thought he was really solid defensively in the second half.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
Brad, with rebounding, I guess, how do you try to, I mean, this is a smaller team. How do you try to find ways to, I guess?
Well, we talked about it. One of our keys in both of the games we've played so far has been gang rebound. Like, I've got to get on Al about no rebounds. I mean, he can't play 36 minutes and have no rebounds. Like, he's got to find a way to go get a couple long rebounds that bounce out there. He's not going to get in there with the trees, but he's got to see if his man doesn't go, and then can he get down in there? Now, there were times he was guarding a guy down there, and the guy was bigger than him, and so part of the time I know he's trying to just block that guy out who's bigger and stronger, and it's hard for him to block him out and go get a rebound. So, but he and Nick have got to help us that way. Like, if we're going to play them, they've got to get some defensive rebounds to help this team.
So the biggest thing you've learned through the exhibition in this first game, maybe good or bad?
I think, we've got to continue to be better in our offensive execution. Like, it's, and playing against different defenses and different types of things. And that's, some of it's coaching. We got to figure out ways to better utilize guys. Some of it is our guys got to make better decisions. Al's kind of he's a wild card player sometimes. Now, you got to kind of give him some rope and let him go, because he's going to make some shots. But then every once in a while he shoots some shots that, like, what are you doing, man? We can't have that one. Like, we don't need that one right now. And so it's kind of we're all still kind of adjusting to how we, as you got a guy like that and you're trying to, get him some baskets and give him some freedom. But, we've got to figure that out as a coaching staff, how to utilize our offensive package a little bit better.
Do you use this with your team as far as like, hey, we've got to come out, make sure we're ready to go?
Yeah. And we talked about it, it had nothing to do with overlooking piece. It's not so much, not like we were excited to play. I mean, our guys were excited, ready to go. I mean, they're sweating, they're panting in there. It's not like they're not their first game of the year, man, they want to play. It's more of like, hey, guys, there's a mental part of this that is just as important. Being prepared, handling your technique, whatever your role and responsibility is. It's not, they're going to do some things that we don't practice, that we're not used to because we haven't seen it. How are you going to handle that? You got punched in the mouth. It took us a while, man. We had a standing 8 count. We had to, get our legs about us and like figure out a way to, like, all right, calm down. Let's try to regroup here and get ourselves together and figure out how to win a game. And so the second half, we did a much better job with that.
Once Al kind of, I guess, works out that shot selection, do you feel like he could be that go-to scorer until that's?
Yeah, there's going to be games where he's that guy. I think it's going to be different all the time for this team. He's a guy that, is going to be in certain situations where it's going to be him. Could be PJ, Hunter, DC. I mean, I think we have some guys that can do it, capable. I don't know if he's a guy that can do it every night. I don't know. We'll see. He's going to have a lot of opportunities, and he has experience. So, I'm excited to watch him continue to grow as a player.
Any more questions for Coach?
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming
Thanks,
out.
Coach.
Yep. Thank you. Oh.